Let's freaking go! Freshman sensation DJ Lagway ended the year with 2 QBRs under 50. That is a replacement level starter. What the heck happened? We're going to investigate by looking at the Florida State game in particular. We start things off with a drop. Yes, he broke the contain of Patrick Payton, who's a stud. And as the season moved on, obviously DJ Lagway became a quarterback who loves to operate from the pocket. So you'll see right here that the Florida State Seminoles do a good job keeping rush lane integrity. So there's really no room for him to run anywhere. And look at where he actually ends up placing this football. Look at this. Bang! All right? Wow. So it was catchable by the tight end, but the DB ends up making a really good play on. So this is one of the more impressive plays that I watched from this game, where DJ Lagway just doesn't panic, okay? So you have an in basically unblocked off the edge, and he obviously sees him, steps up into this pocket, 2 hands on the football, quick set. Obviously, it's very dirty, and look at where he ends up placing this football. Is it behind him? Yes. Okay, so better ball location gets this done, and it ends up being a catch, and obviously Azariah Thomas, one of the better DBs in college football, but still, good job avoiding the sack. And then we get to here. This was the highlight reel play from Lagway. So he starts off looking to the left, and, well, this ball probably should just be thrown right here. So he elects to not throw it. What happens? Well, Patrick Payton, who's very, very, very good, beats through this double, and there's a lot of pressure. 6, Jackson Jr. is right here to make this sack. And what happens? DJ Lagway says, "Get off me." The dude is one whale of an athlete. Should that have been stopped? Forward progress? Maybe so. That's going to get called from time to time. And obviously, Lagway runs to the right and finds an open receiver on the scramble drill. Really good stuff. Okay, 3rd and 4. Extended red zone here. And guess what? He decides to throw this go ball. All right. Now, it's impossible to see from this angle where he was actually trying to throw the football. And obviously, I'm never a big fan of 2 goes being run in the same vicinity. So is he trying to throw this football here, or is he trying to throw this football to 88? Now, this is something else. 88 is not one of his best weapons, okay? So this is Florida State's best corner, Azariah Thomas, who I think is going to have a very long NFL career. Do we really want to throw a jump ball up in this situation? Not really. And it's a big red zone INT. The single most important route in a Billy Napier offense is the deep over. It's been the Florida Gator route. Now, everybody runs deep overs, but it's a very simplified way of putting it, all right? So this is a longer developing play. That's the only problem with deep overs. They're tough to cover, but they do take a while. And you'll see that there is a faster player who gets through the middle here, and Lagway has to deal with them, all right? So he makes him miss and throws on the run, feet not set. Look at the ball location here. Bang! Y'all, that is absolutely positively stupendous. Okay, so let's get to the 2nd and 6. Obviously, in this situation, teams like to run zone defense right here. We want to work the underneath. All right? So, take a look at this. Vertical here, stop here, flat route here, and Lagway's just reading this player. If he runs down to the flat, you're throwing to the tight end. And in this spot, you want this football to be on this shoulder so he could turn outwards, okay? So the ball location could be better, but it's honestly still good defensive reading right there from Lagway, and it's a first down. Let's move ahead to the 2nd and goal. God, this is some really good quarterbacking right here from Lagway. So he's reading this safety right here, and if this safety commits to the run, he wants to throw one of 2 routes, okay? As you can see, Azariah Thomas is just abusing 6 right here, Badger. So once he sees that, he knows this deep back corner is going to be open, and the only thing about this is him backing up here, okay? He didn't need to do that, so it makes it that much more difficult, but also backing up, of course, if that rusher was getting through there, it does, buy you a little extra time, but the throw is still good enough for the tutty. Wow. Take a look at this 2nd and 6. This is just good reading right here. He sees that this corner is out. Vertical route is also going to block the safety, so you want to work the whip right here. And this is just good quarterbacking right here from Lagway. Now, could this have been sped up just a little bit? Some QB coaches don't like the ball pat, all right? But, once again, it does get out there, and bang, he does make this 3rd and manageable, so you'll take it. All right, so we get to the biggest miss of the game. Obviously, this is one he would like to have back, Elijah Badger. He's throwing with a lot of anticipation, which I do like, okay? But, man, it's just high, all right? It is high. You would like to have that one. All right, we get to 3rd and 3. This is the most common concept in the SEC. Every single team runs it, and this is mesh. So I didn't actually show you this play earlier in the game. Florida ran mesh, and Florida State was just ready for it. They had 2 guys just blocking off this mesh concept, and this time it does actually open itself wide the frick open. Now, this is where it gets complicated on 2 different levels as to why this is a somewhat negative rep, even though you're able to complete it. The first is this is an absolutely atrocious defensive call. You are down by 14 in a rivalry game in the 4th quarter, and you're playing way off here on 3rd and 3. That makes absolutely no sense to basically give them this. And let's just say there was a rush lane wide open. You're also giving this away from a QB rushing standpoint. So the first thing is on this play, you're never going to play such an incompetent defensive call like this one was. The second thing here is this ball needs to be thrown a little bit quicker, okay? So Lagway is a bouncer in the pocket, and this is mesh rail, so your first read is the rail if they give it to you. He does like to bounce quite a bit. There's different philosophies as to, how you want your footwork to be, but that's fine, okay? He eventually does find it. It does take, to me, a half beat long to get it there, and it's rarely going to be that easy on 3rd and medium in the SEC. So a good job finding that, but I don't think it's going to be quite as simple as that one. So Lagway is good at sack avoidance. I actually don't mind this sack at all. So once again, Florida State playing very soft, playing cover 6 right here, and there's just nothing that's going to be open. And once you see they're that far back in the coverage and the middle of the field is wide open, I don't mind a tuck and run. The DTs just make a good play here. Another thing, if you're up by 21, this does keep the clock moving, and it's not a disastrous sack either. All right, so what do we make of DJ Lagway and this final Power 4 game of his true freshman season? You saw what everyone else sees in him, which is a spectacular quarterback prospect. And look, I'm not going to say he is a top quarterback in the SEC. I don't think I'd have him in my top 3, but there's not a single player in all of college football that you want on your team for the next 2 seasons more than Lagway, right? Because even if he is a superstar after this season, he can't go to the NFL draft. So as a Florida Gator fan, you guys know I don't like it. I'm an LSU Tiger. I'm not looking forward to playing this guy. And then you take a look at Florida's weapons. I know there are quite a few of you that aren't too excited about the wide receiver room. J. Michael Sturdivant comes in. I think he's interesting. I love this play design as well. So they had been running on obviously the bleed clock, and now you actually throw a tight end delay, and this tight end starts off blocking. You have a lot of eye candy. Deep over deoccupies this portion of the field, and obviously the tight end is going to be open right here. And Lagway, the Florida State did a good job retracing their steps, and he throws a good enough ball right there for the tutty. So man, he is exciting. He is very, very, very exciting. And, man, it would not shock me by the end of the season if he is the best SEC quarterback. I just don't see it this year because I do think the conference has some really, really good signal callers. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think he is a top 3 SEC quarterback going into next year? And also, Gator fans, let me know if you want me to do a breakdown of the Tulane game. It was but it was also a bowl game. And this is something to keep in mind with Lagway. Playing the final 2 games versus very, very, very bad teams can bring down your play as well, right? Florida State, obviously terrible. They started a true freshman. And then, of course, Tulane started the worst quarterback you'll ever see at the P4 level, who is now a tight end. So it is what it is. Now, one thing we didn't point out was Lagway's effect on the run game, right? With his rushing ability, he does add a lot, and especially with stretch handoffs, you can have nasty bootleg plays out of it. So, man, I honestly thought this game, harsh truth, was okay versus Florida State. Yeah, were there some misses, were there some red zone rough plays mixed in there? You betcha. But the dude's an absolute stud, and if you want to see one of the best first halves of any SEC quarterback you'll ever see, bang, this film study is floating in your face right now. Check it out, baby. It's Power Hour SEC. Tonight, we're eating steaks. Let's go.